Hey, welcome back to the Hotel Orloff. It's June 10th, 2023. We just went through a big hurricane here in Rural Retreat, Virginia, but everything seems to be pretty much okay. So let's continue organizing comic books. So, let's set up the camera. All right. Perfectly straight. Let's see what's in this box. Oh man, what is this for? What is this? Oh, this is a poster of Courtney Love from the 90s. That's a pretty big poster. Tell you what. Let's get these posters into the closet where they won't be in the way. So, Charlie Brown wastebasket. Okay. Okay. So I trust you guys have been doing well as can be expected during this horrible apocalypse. People on the East Coast are confronted with smoky skies, orange skies. That was a hit song about 70 years ago, wasn't it? Orange Colored Sky. Well, here comes Drew the dog, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Drew the dog, what's up? She's come here to visit us. Okay. So, I better secure my bottle of water. She likes to chew the tops off bottles of water. Where can I put this thing? I'll put it here. Okay, well, so I watched the live broadcast of Dr. Silver Age and Shannon this morning. They were showing all kinds of cool comics, and then what the heck was that? And then hearing weird voices, and now I've got on downstairs the live broadcast leading up to Trump's speech in Georgia, and then he'll be doing another speech in North Carolina later tonight. So I'll be actively watching those. That last video I did where I said I supported Donald Trump, I lost a subscriber. Isn't that terrible? A subscriber that doesn't like Donald Trump. Alright. Shocking. Okay, well, let's see what's in this box. This is not going to be as cool because this is not the real vintage stuff. This is the stuff over on this wall is the stuff from like 1971 till today. But we'll see what we can find in this box. I'm assuming this box is towards the latter part of the alphabet. Let's see what's in it. Okay, it starts with, we're in the middle of this Mike Allred Silver Surfer run from, what was it, about 10 years ago? I like Mike Allred's art, which is why I own recent books. To me, a book that's 10 years old is like brand new. Okay, so Silver Surfer. We looked at this box recently. I remember, because I remember showing Skull the Slayer. Okay. Yeah, I remember looking at all this. Okay. Well, the main thing I'm trying to do here is, let's see, is there anything that's between Skull the Slayer or Silver Surfer and it goes to Amazing Spider-Man that I need to file into this box? So let's see. Yeah, there is actually. Maybe, possibly. Spider-Man. Skull. I don't know. That would be later. Okay, well, we're coming up on stuff. Okay, so. Oh, actually, yeah. Well, no. No. Okay. Surprisingly, Marvel recently did this replica, this facsimile of the first appearance of the Punisher, Amazing Spider-Man 129. And this Wednesday, they've got a replica coming out of Amazing Spider-Man 121, where they killed off Gwen Stacy, which was a stupid move on the part of Marvel to kill off Gwen Stacy, I believe. But Marvel, even though this is one of their most famous characters, Marvel's embarrassed by the Punisher because the Punisher has, and the symbol on his chest has been taken up by military units and police department. Just people wear it on their shirt, and it usually is a symbol used by people that are more conservative in their politics, that think that crime is bad and that the police are good. But anyway, this all came from the 70s, when there was a lot of crime in New York City and in major cities, and there were movies like Charles Bronson and Death Wish, where he was taking care of the taking care of the criminals on his own. Vigilante justice. So the Punisher was introduced as a villain, and later he kind of became an anti-hero in the comics. And so Marvel, a few years ago, or about a year and a half ago, changed the skull to some Japanese demon-looking thing with horns, and then they had him stop using guns. They had him start using swords and join some kind of Yakuza-type group. Well, what they've done now is they've killed off the Punisher. I think last week or recently, I understand, they killed off the Punisher by, the Punisher became the Punisher because he comes back from Vietnam. And his, of course, that was another thing they would always do in the 70s, is show people returning from Vietnam as being unhinged. And in just about every movie you saw back then, Taxi Driver, Rolling Thunder, or whatever. So, he was a Vietnam vet. He comes back. His wife and children are killed by these mafia type groups, so he goes out and takes revenge on his own. Well, in this new comic that came out, apparently he gets captured, and his wife shows up and says, "I've been alive the whole time. Everything you've been living has been a lie." And then he kills himself or something like that. That's what I understand they've done. So it figures, Marvel is just embarrassed by the character. And so they would rather play politics than actually make any money. So they've gotten rid of that character. They'll probably bring him back, but when they do, it will be almost certainly without guns. I don't know, was this character in the latest Spider-Verse movie? That movie's out, right? I hear everyone talking about it, gushing enthusiasm. I like this character, Spider-Ham. I know he was in the last Miles Morales movie. How many issues were there of Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham? I'm not sure. Here's issue 2. Yeah, I'm just killing time until the Donald Trump. It's not going to be a rally. He's going to be giving speeches, but it should be very interesting. Okay, so now we get into the Amazing Spider-Man. Here's a facsimile they did a while back of issue 101, where they introduced Morbius, the living vampire. So all my Silver Age Amazing Spider-Man comics are over on this wall. And so a few years ago, I decided to have everything Silver Age and back separated from Bronze Age and up. So here's Amazing Spider-Man 106. This isn't a facsimile, it's a real comic. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to put in this Amazing Spider-Man 129. This is Amazing Spider-Man 109. Here's 117. I really should move this box a little bit. This is not good on my back, man. Okay, here's 124. They made a book and record set of that issue. 125. Oh, wait. Oh, no. I'm still before the first Punisher, aren't I? Yeah, in my fourth grade class, I don't remember the teacher's name, but I remember he had this book out with all the books for the kids to read. And, oh well. This is the first Amazing Spider-Man comic that I owned. Look at those bell bottoms on Mary Jane. It's great. It's not the first Spider-Man comic I owned. That was a Marvel team-up. I got it because Spider-Man was teamed up with Werewolf by Night. And in second grade, I was into the monsters. I hadn't really discovered the superheroes yet. This comic was bought for me by my mother when I was homesick, and she just picked up a handful of comics and brought them home. I don't know how she decided what books she chose, but she chose this. And, I thought, yeah, that's cool. But I didn't really read this until after I discovered a few months, maybe 6 months later, Marvel Treasury Edition number 2 with the Fantastic Four reprints came out. And I read that and I realized how great these Marvel superheroes were. And then I became aware that maybe not just the superheroes, maybe not just the monsters, but the superheroes are interesting too. So I went back and read that comic. That was 127. Here's 128. I didn't buy this. I didn't buy that. Let's see when I start. I can tell you when I discovered it. 131. These are all books I bought later. Oh, I have 2 copies of 131. 132. Oh, I have 2 copies of 132. Oh no, I have 3 copies. You don't need to see it again. Okay, this is 136. So what I showed you is 127. Well, it's been almost 9 months later. I've discovered that the Fantastic Four is cool. So this is the first Amazing Spider-Man comic I bought of my own free will. The other one being bought by my mother. This one I actually went out and bought. And this is when, everything clicked in. So 136 is the first Spider-Man I bought on my own. knowingly. And then 137, I think I was just in from that moment on and pretty much bought them every month. Well, I take that back. I don't have a 138. I really do need to get a 138. I have reprints, but I don't know. 140. This is another childhood copy. I know I don't have boards. I put these in Mylight when that was a new invention in the 80s. It's a thin Mylar. And yeah, I'll put boards in them at some point. Maybe sometime very soon. 141. Oh, I didn't put 129 in. That's the whole point. We're here. I don't know if you want to see all these Spider-Man books. 29. I'm mainly here. Okay, so after 128, I'll fill in 129. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of Spider-Man books. And, okay. And it keeps going. The box ends at Amazing Spider-Man number 258, which is when, it wasn't as interesting at this point with the black costume, at least in my opinion. It just, I don't know. All that stuff. I've got to put these kind of Spider-Man books in. I've decided to put all Spider-Man books in under S. And that's just how I do it. There are too many Spider-Man books. They went nuts with the Spider-Man books, and so therefore that's what I do. You've got another comic. They put it. Originally when I first started, there was just two Spider-Man comics. Well, there was the Amazing Spider-Man and there was Marvel Tales, which reprinted the 1960s. Spider-Man comics. Well, there was Marvel Team Up, and that was a Spider-Man comic. Yeah, okay, so there were three. And I guess I was in 5th grade, or was it? Yeah, I must have been in 5th grade when they came up with another comic called Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Then later they dropped the Peter Parker and made it Spectacular Spider-Man. But I always filed that under P for Peter Parker. I was very obstinate. I was going to keep filing it. As it was really, that comic was meant to be different from the Amazing Spider-Man, and that it was going to concentrate more on Peter Parker's personal, private life and less just on the Spider-Man adventure. That was how it was supposed to be different from what I remember. Anyway. So anyway, so let's, where's, oh, I got the lid on it. Okay, so I'm going to need to actually stand up now, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Hopefully there's going to be, okay. This is where I'm going to need to file some books. Okay. So this box starts with 259. Then I've got 260. Okay. This is I guess this is a time period of comics that I think a lot of people revere. I guess it's okay. I like the older ones. This is the first appearance of Silver Sable. I thought she was a cool character. Is there anything interesting? Okay. This reprints the black and white magazine from 1968. I think that's what's in that. And where he teams up with Doc Savage. Here he's with the Punisher. Okay, so what's going on here? Then there's a comic that's just called Spider-Man that starts in the 90s, and I have a few issues of that. That's where the people that love Todd McFarlane. Man, what is this? Oh, I see. Web of Spider-Man. I've got that here. The first issue of Web of Spider-Man had a great cover. Where is it? I don't even have it bagged and boarded. I really should. This is a great cover. Okay. This was great with Steve Rude art. He was great. Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Woman. Oh, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, because I've got to get these. These were freebie comics that were put in the Dallas Times-Herald Sunday paper. Got a couple of them. And then this one, I guess it's the Marvel Newspaper Network. I guess they customized them to different areas. Like this has the Dallas Ballet Nutcracker. I bet there were other cities that had ballets and they just changed the art from Dallas to New York or something. But it was supposed to be personalized to your city, and then they would have ads for local stores, you know, Sanger Harris or whatever big stores you had in the mall. I'm going to need to pull some of these books out of the back. Yes, I am. Yes, indeed. Pull some of these books out to fit some more of these in. What is this book? This is a strange book. It's a little bit wider than an average comic. It starts with this terrible 1990s looking art where everything looks like that. And everybody has lots of, they always have this, when they open their mouth, the spit always goes, it's disgusting. But then it has some Steve Ditko art from, looks like they're focusing on stories with Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus. A lot of Steve Ditko art. So, and it looks like at the back they have, I recognize this as Ultimate Spider-Man from the way his hair is. And they make this more, kind of disgusting way. Alright, so it's just a combination of art from different periods of Marvel's history with Dr. Octopus. So we'll put that in with the Spider-Man stuff. Oh, this was good. Peter Bagg doing Spider-Man. Let's look at that. Yeah, I need to get some more bags and boards for sure. Yeah, see, it's Peter Bagg of Hate. They should just have Peter Bagg do the Spider-Man book all the time. It would be far superior. Yeah, see, this is the way I would just draw it this way. I'm so sick. This is so better than Todd McFarlane or John Romita Jr. Everyone reveres John Romita Jr. I mean, he just has a name. I don't know. I guess he's great, whatever. Okay. This is some... I showed you this the other day. It's just a bunch of garbage. Riot at Row. It's some freebie comic that they gave away in schools from IBM. This is one. There must be. I don't know what even this is. The Amazing Spider-Man. They kept restarting it every 30 issues. They'd start over the new issue #1. At least I know what this is. It's an index to the real Amazing Spider-Man. So that'll be at the end of the Spider-Man run, I would assume. Okay, so let's slide that in. Where will I even put this? I have no clue. I don't think I ever bought any of the revampings of the Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, here's an Amazing Spider-Man 26. But I think this is older than, this is when comics are 225, and this one is when comics are $3.99. So this is obviously later. I pity people that actually collect modern comics. How do you even do it? And I'm just putting it in randomly. I can care less. Oh, here's another copy of that Steve Rude book. It's so great. Yeah, actually, this is just, all this does is make me angry looking at this mess. The mess that Marvel's made of their comic book world. And then I stumbled on, while I was making an episode of Tomb of Terror this morning, I stumbled on a trailer for Iron Man from 2008, the first of the Marvel movies made by Marvel Studios. And that was so great. And we had such optimistic feelings. And for 10 years, we were getting great movies. And then all of a sudden, it just went right into the toilet. And they started making these terrible movies. And but looking at that, it's so sad, what they did. So the comics are terrible. The movies are terrible. Okay, what is this? What is going on here? This Web of Spider-Man 72. Okay, I just saw Web of Spider-Man 126. I don't have many of these. Okay, there's 60. Oh, here's another one. I must have 2 copies of that. Probably because I like Silver Sable. I must have... Here's a free comic book day, Spider-Man and Venom, another free comic book day thing. Not even worth looking at. Sensational Spider-Man, I don't even know what that is. Yeah, these new comics, they like to have the mouths wide open. I guess Black Cat's pretty well drawn. I don't know what this is. Spider-Man Family, you tell me. Okay, Spider-Man Classics. This is going to be kind of like what Marvel Tales used to be, reprinting the old stories. Okay. So let's just slide these in at random, I guess. It's just any place is as good as another. Okay, there's Spider-Woman. I bought this off the rack when it came out. And in 3rd and 4th grade, actually 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, PBS must have sent lesson plans to teachers about implementing the show The Electric Company in classes. And so they didn't have VHS recordings back then in 1972 through 74, 5. So what they would do is they would know what time of day they showed a couple episodes of Electric Company at different times of the day during the broadcast day of the local PBS station, and the teachers would get a lesson plan saying, okay, we're going to be teaching these phonics skills in this episode of the Electric Company. So they'd wheel in a television set, and they'd plop us down, and we'd watch the Electric Company for 30 minutes. And I don't know, we'd do some worksheets maybe about that phonics skill. But it was supposed to be using television to teach us, where we didn't really realize we were being taught. We were having fun, right? So Electric Company was a pretty entertaining show for a kid, especially. It was better than listening to the teacher talk. but at one point they decided to put Spider-Man in the electric company, and when they actually put him in, he didn't talk. He just made these squawking noises like the teachers do in the Charlie Brown specials, and it was just kind of embarrassing, especially if you were a comic collector at that age and you're seeing Spider-Man just portrayed in such an embarrassing way. But they put out a comic book to tie in with that, and it's here somewhere. I just saw it. Yeah. And it was called Spidey Super Stories. And it was supposed to be written in a more easy to read way than the average comic book. So this is something I bought when I was a kid. There's Morgan Freeman, the Academy Award winning actor who played Easy Reader, and he's saying, Easy Reader says this comic book is easy to read. So there's Spider-Man with Morgan Freeman, and Rita Moreno, from West Side Story was in it. She was the one that would yell, "Hey, you guys," which I understand now. I heard a couple of days ago that you're not supposed to say "Hey, you guys" anymore. You're not supposed to, because it's gendered, and you're not supposed to say boys and girls. You're supposed to say something like, hey, you students, hey, you people, or hey, you folks. Folks is a word that they've been using for a while. Remember that Biden uses folks all the time, and Obama really used the word folks. Hey, folks. He didn't say ladies and gentlemen, he'd say folks. And it's very commie kind of word, folks. I mean, anyway. I don't want to get too political because it'll offend people. I don't know. Let's see. Let's get these books. And what is this? A bunch of squat. Oh, I'm going to have to pull more out. Unfortunately. Ooh, this was a great book. Starfire. Not the Starfire from the Teen Titans. No, don't lick the comics, Drew. It's a different... Drew, you can't do it, man. It's un-American to lick comics, boy. See, I just gendered her. I called her a boy, but she's a dog. It's horrible what I did. A thought crime. Oh, this Amazing Spider-Man needs to be put in with those two. And this is just something that I bought. I mean, just purely because the cover. But it's, it's not anything any good. That's what they do, is they trick you into buying a book by having a cool cover. Usually a cover like that. And the reason I had to move more books out is because I realized I got all these Squadron Supreme books I got to put into this box. And this dog is telling me that I think that she wants to go outside for a W, which I don't want to say that word yet. Let me get this. Oh, there's Spider-Man Classics. I'll just put this Amazing Spider-Man in at random. I don't even care. Okay. Drusilla the dog. Drew, do you want to go out for a walk? Do you want to go for a walk? She's licking her lips like a walk is something you can eat. She's tearing everything apart, man. Okay, well, I guess we'll go downstairs. Hope I have enough electricity to do this. Look, yeah. Okay, now. Oh, sorry. I was standing up, and my kneecap hit her in her lower jaw, forcing. Oh, boy. Okay, Drew the dog. Let's head on down. Come on, Drew. Drew, you want to go for a walk? Drew? Drew? You want some food? Would you like some food, Drew? You want lunch? Yeah. I'm still recording. I was gonna take her on a walk but I can. Yeah, I'll check. Come on, Drew. Drew, let's go out for a walk. Okay. My goodness gracious. At least we got some books filed. Okay, well, Hurricane Greta hit here yesterday, and I was going to show you some of the damage from the hurricane. Let's see what we can see out here. It's still raining. Yeah, the outer bands of the hurricane have... oh, man. Drew, it's rainy out here. You better take care of your business quick. Yeah, the hurricane caused this mailbox to be crooked. See how crooked the mailbox is. All right. Yes, Hurricane Greta. First hurricane since 1978 that's been named Greta. This one named in honor of Greta Thunberg, the wonderful climate change protester. We all admire her here. So we name hurricanes after her. Okay, Drew. Apparently you don't need to go to the restroom. My phone is getting wet.
If the rule number 3, as just allegedly adopted, is enacted, would that mean
Oh my gosh.
the accountability rule could not be discussed by this body in any circumstance?
Anyway, Starfire was a cool comic. Nobody knows about it, so it's very affordable. Okay. Well, wasn't that fun? Let's plug you guys back in. Well, let's get the next box out.